In tonight's headlines, future supply for private residential units in the city has dropped to 107,000, marking the lowest level in the last 5 quarters. Kids as young as 8 can soon enter licensed billiards halls following a regulatory relaxation. And US President Donald Trump tells the world to either bring their production to the US or pay higher tariffs.
New residential units supply for the next 3 to 4 years in the city is projected to be around 107,000, marking a decline for 3 consecutive quarters and hitting a 5-quarter low, according to Housing Bureau's statistics as of the end of 2024. This forecast data mainly includes 27,000 unsold units in completed projects, 68,000 units under construction but unsold, and 12,000 units with disposed sites that can start construction at any time. In 2024, the property market saw a spike in private residential unit completions, with a total of 24,300 units, rocketing 74.8% year-on-year. The figure has surpassed the Rating and Valuation Department's annual completion forecast, driven by a record high of 13,300 units completed in the 4th quarter, which marked a remarkable 2.5 times year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter increase.
Children as young as 8 will soon be permitted to enter licensed billiard halls following a regulatory relaxation aimed at cultivating Hong Kong's snooker talent pool. The Leisure and Cultural Services Department will start accepting applications from billiard establishments from February 25th. Once approved, young patrons in school uniforms and above the age limit can access the licensed venues freely, with the restricted hours adjusted to 8 hours from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., down from the previous 14-hour limit of 8 p.m. to 10 a.m. The department said it will evaluate each application based on the establishment's environment, operational circumstances, and available facilities. Vincent Law, chairman of the Billiard Sports Council of Hong Kong, China, welcomed this change as a significant first step, expressing hope that it will eventually lead to the complete removal of all age and time restrictions for billiard halls as sporting venues. The Consumer Council urged the Greater Bay Airlines and its ticket agencies to manage refunds with greater flexibility and efficiency following the airline's abrupt cancellation of 128 flights in February and March earlier this week. The consumer watchdog said it has received at least 8 complaints from affected passengers. The number is expected to rise as more than 5,500 passengers have been forced to alter their travel plans, primarily on routes to Japan, South Korea, and Thailand. Taking to the airwaves, Council Chief Executive Gilly Wang emphasized the need for both the airline and travel agencies to act swiftly and compassionately in processing refunds. Some passengers have reported that certain agencies indicated it could take 3 to 6 months for them to receive their refunds. Wang acknowledged that while agencies typically wait for the airline to process refunds before acting, they should exercise discretion in individual cases. A rigid adherence to rules could lead to further dissatisfaction and secondary complaints among customers, she said. Wang also highlighted that the airline must ensure it does not charge customers any fees for swamping destinations and that timely updates are provided to customers. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Beetroot salad was probably the culprit that caused a total of 43 passengers on 2 Cathay Pacific flights from Nepal to develop symptoms of food poisoning earlier this month, the Center for Health Protection said. Upon investigation, the center did not rule out that the clusters were caused by beetroot salad contaminated with Staphylococcus aureus served on board the flights. Since all affected passengers had not eaten any other common food before boarding, and the beetroot salad was the only food item from the in-flight menu that was statistically associated with developing disease, it was believed to be the risk factor. Although test results of 2 samples of undistributed beetroot salad show that Staphylococcus aureus did not exceed the food safety standard, inspection on the food factory revealed the preparation of the salad involved a number of manual handling steps that might increase the risk of contamination.
Police have arrested 2 more suspects linked to a knife attack in Yunlong that resulted in 1 fatality and another injury, raising the total number of arrests to 6. The force announced a fresh arrest in a Facebook post this morning, giving no further details on the pair's identities or the specifics behind their detention. Sources indicated that the 2 men aged 26 and 23 were apprehended from their residences in Yunlong, despite having no prior criminal records. They are suspected to be affiliated with a triad group operating in the new territories, joining 4 others arrested on Wednesday. Among those arrested earlier, 2 men aged 27 and 29 were captured in Tuen Mun and at Hong Kong International Airport, while 2 younger suspects aged 20 and 21 were detained by Thai authorities upon their arrival at Bangkok Airport on the same day. They were subsequently returned to Hong Kong. Currently, there remain suspects at large, according to the police. The force has emphasized no tolerance for gang violence, launching a 5-day anti-triad operation starting Wednesday. More than 900 officers were deployed and 83 arrests were made in a single day.
In support of the government's tourism is everywhere concept, 2 major political parties proposed a series of suggestions while unleashing tourist hotspots across the city. The proposal from the Democratic Alliance for the Betterment and Progress of Hong Kong includes promoting religious tourism in Central and Western District, as well as Wan Chai District, combining temple culture with local food. In addition, Vice Chair of DAB Brave Chen expressed hope to ride on the wave of the panda economy. Creating photo spots across all 18 districts to promote panda is everywhere. A panda sculpture is very likely to be installed in the Legislative Council, he added. The DAB also proposed to transform the Hong Kong UNESCO Global Geopark into an international brand by collaborating with other geological parks on the mainland. This proposal is also valued by the Federation of Trade Unions. FTU lawmaker Kwok Wai Keung highlighted that the geopark is absent from the 10 must-do attractions, despite being one of only 47 geological parks in all of China. The FTU also recommended establishing a fisherman's wharf in Tuen Mun and creating cycle tracks or boardwalks to connect beaches. They also call on opening up Chong Ying Street to visitors and increasing duty-free allowance for mainland residents. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Speaking via video from the White House to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, U.S. President Donald Trump told his audience the European Union treats the U.S. unfairly.
We have hundreds of billions of dollars of deficits with the EU, and nobody's happy with it, and we're going to do something about it, but nobody's happy with it.
Trump promised global elites lower taxes if they bring manufacturing to the U.S. and threatened to impose tariffs if they don't.
Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. We're bringing them down very substantially, even from the original Trump tax cuts. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts.
Imposing tariffs would be one of the main negotiating tactics on Trump's trade agenda, in particular in the U.S.-China relations. Trump reiterated that the U.S. wants a fair relationship with Beijing, adding that Chinese President Xi Jinping had called him last Friday.
He called me, but I see it very good. I think that we're going to have a very good relationship. All we want is fairness. We just want a level playing field. We don't want to take advantage.
Later in a Fox News interview, Trump said he would rather not have to impose tariffs on China, while saying it is America's tremendous power over Beijing and that he can make a trade deal with China. He earlier said he was considering imposing an additional 10% tariff on imports of Chinese-made goods as soon as next month. Anna Chan, Cable News. U.S. President Donald Trump's hardline policies on immigration faced the first legal setback as a U.S. federal judge blocked the administration from enforcing the executive order curtailing the right to automatic birthright citizenship. The Seattle-based district judge called Trump's action as blatantly unconstitutional and issued a temporary restraining order nationwide for 14 days. The court will later decide whether to issue a long-lasting preliminary injunction. Under Trump's policy to deny the granting of citizenship to the children of migrants who are either in the U.S. illegally or on temporary visas, more than 150,000 newborn children would be denied citizenship annually. At least 22 states have already sued the federal government and challenged the executive order.
Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocks the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
Meanwhile, Trump continued to sign a series of executive orders on Thursday, ranging from boosting the U.S. role in artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency to pardoning anti-abortion protesters. Trump also ordered to declassify remaining federal records relating to the assassinations of late President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr.
For decades, and everything will be revealed.
He made a similar pledge during his first term, but ultimately heeded appeals from the CIA and FBI to withhold some documents. Anna Chan, Cable News.
A residential site on Meiting Road in Taiwan closed tender today. The plot, the only residential land the government put up for sale in the third quarter, and a new addition to the land sale program, attracted at least 6 tenders, including Seikei Assets, Sinoland, China Overseas, and Song Hong Kong Properties. Despite property prices had been in a downward trend, reflected by the latest data from the Rating and Valuation Department, KNK Property submitted its bid alone, citing well-developed amenities and that the project would take a few years to complete, believing that market conditions should improve by then. The plot covered an area of 38,800 square feet, with a maximum gross floor area of 1.93 million square feet, yielding about 360 units. Maximum price per square foot was valued at $3,600.